Um, so, um, how's it go? Um, have you ever heard anybody say, "At least I exist"? See, the thought is that you exist because you exist. So there was no choice. When you say "at least I exist," it sounds and points towards there was a choice, right? Um, like before you existed, you didn't exist. But you can't even say that you didn't exist because really, if you think about it, it's nothing. Like there's enough. It's just nothing. Like empty. Like it wasn't like you were anything before you existed. Now, modern science, they're going to say, well, we don't know, we don't know. Of course we don't. But look, think about it. Think about reality, man. Like the what seems to be what we're going off of is that before you were conceived. Now, yeah, you know, well, the minute the minute conception, then you existed from that point. Now, I'm not saying that. Oh, well, at least hopefully, I don't want to talk about all this craziness, but like I mean, if you want to say, "Oh, thank God my mom didn't have an abortion," that's goofy, right? But that's out of context. The whole idea is if you say, "At least I exist," or you say "At least I exist." No, that's the only choice. You exist because you exist. Like, um, you think that that some people might think everything that goes on it will always go like you can rewind it. You think God's a camcorder? Like, well, even if God's recording this, the reality of existence itself, it appears to be matter that forms and goes away. It doesn't seem like it's some kind of like in order for us to be real, right? In order for us to be real, we really exist. I mean, of course, we can take it out of context and we could talk about like this being some like what if life wasn't what it appears to be? How could the past always exist? Like you can go back to it. It's crazy, right? It don't make sense. You'd have to reverse all the movement in the exact same pattern, but it still wouldn't be the same. It would be different. It would be in the future from that point. If you stopped everything right now and could reverse matter, reverse the movement, all the movement of everything, everywhere, everything. So the whole universe, everything as far as everything that exists, if you took all the movement and reversed all the movement in the exact pattern that it took to get to that point, it would still be in the future from that point you started to reverse the movement. So either we are real, like what is real? So it's kind of difficult, And it all comes back to this idea where you're like, wow, we're on this big rock that's flying through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's like 1,000,000 miles. It's something crazy, like 1,000,000 miles a second. So we're this big rock. We're flying through space. There's all these big, huge things that somehow we're just kind of just floating along. Not really floating along. We're along, and we're not running into anything. And you go, wow. One day, this whole everything that we know as Earth and everything could be completely gone, like, and we would be forgotten forever, right? Like, and then you think, well, at least I exist. At least I exist. There was no other choice. At least you existed. There was no other choice. You did not exist. There was no you. It was just nothing. It wasn't even nothing. You weren't even nothing. Think about it. Like emptiness. So it just seems like you're saying there was another choice. Because it's impossible to not exist, because something has to exist before it cannot exist. So maybe that's how it is. So now that you do exist, you're glad that you existed. But then for some reason in my mind, it's like there was no choice. It wasn't like, okay, this is going to exist or not. There was no this. There was nothing back before. Before that conception, it wasn't like you had it wasn't like you were something. But then who knows? I mean, you could take this in 1,000 different directions and talk about, shared consciousness and like multi combined shared, like existing in different, many different many different entities. Like I have like being one entity that lives all through time. It's like if I died right now, I'd wake up in another being that's actually me as well. Like this book I'm writing, and so it's crazy, right? So like it's just this whole idea where people like, well, at least I exist. But that's the thing. It's like do you see? There's no choice. Like nobody doesn't exist. Think about it. Look out into the world. People that are going to be born 10 years from now, or 10 minutes from now. There's nothing. There's nothing. Like there's, you see what I'm saying? There's nothing there. It's like nothing. Well, you can't find people that are going to exist in 10 years or in 10 minutes. They're nowhere to be found. There's nothing nothing at all. Like there's like where are they at? There's who? What? Nothing. Nothing. So you exist because you existed, and at least you exist. There's no choice. I mean, if you didn't exist, you did not exist. Now think about it. Life forms that are conceived 10 years from now. Okay, show me where they're at. Show me where these people are. Nothing. Huh. So the whole idea of at least I exist, you had no choice. Once you existed, you existed. It wasn't like you were gonna. How can you continue to be nothing? Because you ain't nothing. Nothing's nothing. Nothing's nothing. 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 It's nothing, right? Huh. Some people believe in this thing called reincarnation. And I came up with this theory where it's like, you could actually be a part of four separate life forms that exist as one, where the consciousness is constant within all. And if one person if I would die, I would just wake up on top of a mountain, and in another version of myself that's part of me right now, and I'm part of it's just I had these theories and stuff where like I just like come up with these ideas where it's like, wow, that would be cool. Wow, would you imagine, like being a dragon flying through space, but this immortal dragon and this this invincible immortal dragon flying through space, that's who you really are, as well as yourself, and everything that you do and exist requires that as well, so that if you die, all of a sudden you wake up as this dragon flying through space and you're like, wow, that was cool, man. You remember everything, and then all of this goes together into this life that was, could have been around for a long time, like, stuff like that. So I'm trying to write a sci-fi thing, but that's the best sci-fi. You got to make it seem like it could be possible. That's the best sci-fi. When you go, wow, man, everything the way it looks right now, that could be going on somehow. We wouldn't even know. Wow. That's the best sci-fi, right? Ruby gets plenty. The buttons, they get shorter. Ruby gets taller, taller. Can't fight again.